First news update, the Tesla referral program is back. So now you can use my referral link again when buying a Tesla product. Here in Europe you can buy a Tesla car and get some Tesla credits to jumpstart your new ownership. In the US it's still only valid for buying a solar roof. We have just returned from our yearly ski holiday and I'm going to unpack the roof rack from the skis. But I want to discuss a little bit about charging situations right now in the world. As you know, a car is not as good as the infrastructure that's supporting it. I mean, if you have no gas stations, a combustion engine car would be useless.
This has been the general public perception when it comes to electric cars for many years. They're useless since there is nowhere to charge them. The difference is that people forget is that an electric car can be filled up in your home, especially if your home is a house where you can park your car nearby and connect it to the property's electrical installation. But destination charging is needed when you need to travel further than half of the distance that your EV has as its range. I mean, you can charge the car at home and then you can only go half the distance of the range available before you have to turn around and go back home, so you avoid running out of energy. That's of course if this is the only place where you can charge your car.
Me as an early adapter of electric cars, I mean, I have been driving it since 2015. There could be a challenge to find somewhere to charge when you went on these longer trips.
But thankfully things have changed. Now when the demand for EVs is completely skyrocketing, and there is so many more of them out on the road today, the infrastructure for building destination chargers and rapid chargers for EV is on a high rate.
Thankfully, back in the days, there was already apps that was supporting me to find the charger that was needed to recharge the car. And also 2015, I only had a car with a 24 kilowatt battery, so then it was really difficult to go only by an electric car. But today it's different. Now a lot of people have electric cars. There have been a huge rise of the selling, and today 30% of all new sold cars in Sweden is actually fully electric. That's really great, right?
Tesla Model Y was the most sold car in Sweden during March 2023. But not only in Sweden, it was the same thing both in Norway, Denmark, Finland, UK, and I probably forgot some countries where Model Y was ranking number one on the overall car sales. And the reason for this success? It's the Tesla Berlin factory that is now starting to produce on a high volume. That means that now there is hardly any waiting time at all to get a Tesla Model Y, comparing to other brands that still have long delivery times. Waiting for more than a year for a non-Tesla EV brand is not unusual.
But regarding this roof rack, it is consuming more energy when driving with this on top of the car. Definitely. But it comes all the time how fast you're driving. If you're going on a highway in 120 or 110 kilometers per hour, then the consumption is huge, extreme, I would say. But if you drive slower, then you have a more moderate consumption. So now when I don't need the roof rack, I will dismount them as soon as possible in order to be so efficient as possible when I'm driving the car.
It's hard to give an exact number of how much more it is. I drove 440 kilometers from the ski resort and the consumption was 195 watt-hour per 100 kilometers. But then we had a drop of altitude for more than 500 meters. That of course contributed to the more lower consumption. And mostly it was mixed driving in speeds between 80 and 100 kilometers per hour. Normally when driving without a roof rack the consumption is around 160 watt-hour per 100 kilometers. On the other hand, the consumption was significantly higher when going there, and for sure there was a need for both supercharging on our way and do destination charging at the ski resort. As an early adapter of EVs, back in the days when electric cars was rare, very often you could find destination chargers that was free of charge. Just plug in and charge the car. The owner of the charging station wanted to help the adoption of EVs, learn how the technical system worked, and just simply put up the stall and gave the power away for free. This was, of course, possible since the price of electricity was practically free or at a very low cost. But this has changed, at least here in Europe. Now, when the price for electricity has skyrocketed, all three destination charging options has rapidly disappeared. This ski resort is marked with a Tesla destination charger, but the Tesla wallbox that they had here before has been ripped down, and now Tesla drivers is left with the paying options. The reserved for Tesla sign, though, is still there. In many cottages there is different type of Schuko contacts outside that could be perhaps used, but it states clearly in the rental agreement that they are absolutely forbidden to be used for charging electric cars, combined with an hefty fine. Some actually have their own wallbox, so you can charge the car when the car is parked next to the cottage. There is even a filter in the booking system to find them, but they are rare, and when you do this filter you limit the booking options dramatically. So mostly the only choice is to use the pay option available in public parkings far away from the rented cottage. And in order to pay, of course, you have to download an app, register and fill out your credit card. It's so hard, and everywhere where you go, there is another app to download, with another system to sign up with. Even on this gas station that has invested in a fast charger, there is a need for an app. But the combustion engine cars, they can fill up their cars with energy and pay with a credit card direct at a pump, without a need of downloading an app or so, like the EV drivers are forced to. But I actually found another gas chain in Sweden, the OKQ8, that is investing in fast chargers, and here you can actually pay directly for charging with your credit card, without downloading an app or so. Good on you, OKQ8. Thankfully, the range of a modern electric car today is so long that the need for destination charging is not so big. Most of the trips can be done within the range of the car, and charging can be done at home. But when there is a need for charging, it must be available and be user-friendly. The infrastructure is coming in place now, and that's great, but still, it must be more user-friendly. The electrification have came so long now, but still it's a long way before it works smoothly. And regarding the price, it's varying a lot between different suppliers. But one thing for sure, it will never be cheaper than charging at home from your own wallbox, especially if the energy comes from your own solar system.